Fire. It's a force that is both revered and feared. For as long as humanity has existed, fire has been our greatest ally and our most terrifying enemy. It is the light that brought us from darkness and the heat that can consume all we hold dear. This dual nature as a symbol of both creation and destruction is woven into the very fabric of global mythology. In the beginning, there was only cold and darkness. Then a heroic act brought fire to humanity, and with it, the foundation for all civilization. This myth is a universal story of fire as the ultimate gift. Fire is the very essence of transformation. It's a force that paradoxically both gives life and devours it without mercy. This profound dual nature, as a symbol of both creation and absolute destruction, isn't just a coincidence, appearing in the foundational stories of nearly every culture across the planet. We're not just discussing fire, we're journeying into the heart of these timeless myths, exploring how ancient civilizations and esoteric traditions understood the primordial flame, not merely as an element, but as a living deity, a divine gift, and the ultimate alchemical force, guiding creation, destruction, and the profound journey of our own spiritual awakening. This deep dive into fire's essence logically begins with its role as the ultimate bringer of life and the very cornerstone of civilization. Picture those early humans again, vulnerable, exposed, perpetually at the mercy of the elements and wild beasts. Then the transformative power of controlled fire. It wasn't just warmth, it was a revolution. It provided light to dispel the overwhelming darkness, pushing back the unknown and giving birth to longer periods of activity, thought, and planning. It offered safety, creating a secure boundary against predators. But most profoundly, it allowed us to cook food, unlocking vital nutrients, enabling brain development, and fundamentally shaping our very biology and evolution. Fire became the first great separator, distinguishing mankind from all other creatures, igniting the path from mere primal existence to the complex, intricate tapestry of society we know today. This essential and revolutionary role in human emergence quickly elevated fire to a second, almost divine status. The most resonant example is the audacious Titan Prometheus. We know who Prometheus is. He was a figure of boundless compassion and defiance. He didn't just stumble upon fire. He deliberately, meticulously stole it, a divine spark from the very forge of the gods, a forbidden ember of knowledge and power, and delivered it directly to a shivering, helpless humanity. His act was more than mere theft. It was a monumental assertion of human potential, a celestial rebellion for the sake of mortal progress and autonomy. Zeus's brutal and eternal punishment, chaining Prometheus to a rock where his liver was perpetually devoured by an eagle, only served to underscore the immense world-changing significance of this sacrilegious yet benevolent gift. It symbolized the extraordinary price of human advancement, a stark reminder that knowledge and power often come with profound consequences and divine displeasure. And beyond such grand cosmic narratives of theft and rebellion, fire manifested as the intimate protective heart of early societies, the hearth. This wasn't merely a place to cook or keep warm. It was the consecrated center of family life, the focal point for community gathering, storytelling, and ritual. It was a place where food was shared, bonds were forged, and ancestral tales were passed down through generations. In the ancient Vedic tradition of India, the god Agni is not just a force of nature, but the divine embodiment of fire itself, serving as the revered messenger between gods and mortals. He is the very voice of prayer, consuming offerings in his sacred flames to carry them directly to the divine realms. Agni represents the vital spiritual conduit, the ever-present spark of connection within every home and every sacred ceremony, linking the mundane with the sublime. Fire's profound creative power exists even to the very origins of the cosmos. The sun, a colossal, radiating cosmic fire, is universally recognized as the ultimate source of all life and warmth in our solar system. But the flame's role is even more fundamental. In Norse mythology, the universe itself began with an explosive clash between the intensely fiery realm of Muspelheim and the icy void of Niflheim. It was the primordial fire's intense heat that melted the vast sheets of ice, giving rise to the giant Ymir, and, from his essence, the very fabric of the world. Here, fire acts as the ultimate alchemical agent, transforming nothingness into vibrant being, shaping nascent stars, forging celestial bodies, and quite literally igniting existence into being. Finally, this transformative creative power of fire is powerfully embodied in the blacksmith's forge. This isn't just a workshop, it's a sacred elemental realm where raw, inert ore is subjected to immense purifying heat and relentless pressure. Under the blacksmith's skilled hand, guided by the forge's inferno, crude materials are hammered and shaped into powerful tools, vital weapons, and beautiful artifacts. The very act of creation, of taking something natural and transforming it into something new, functional, and culturally significant, is a sacred fiery process. Fire in this context represents not just a means to an end, but the arduous yet rewarding journey of craftsmanship, constructing not just physical objects, but the very infrastructure of society, culture, and human ingenuity. It allows humanity to build, to advance, and to transcend the limitations of raw nature. However, for every tale of fire's life-giving warmth and transformative creation, there is an equally terrifying, awe-inspiring myth of its unbridled fury. Fire is also the unstoppable force that consumes all in its path, a terrifying spectacle of nature's raw, annihilating power. But within its destructive embrace often lies a profound, necessary, and ultimately purifying purpose. We've all witnessed or heard chilling tales of uncontrolled fires, terrifying reality, vast forests consuming entire landscapes in a terrifying, hungry rush, volcanic eruptions burying ancient civilizations under rivers of molten rock and suffocating ash, or urban blazes reducing entire districts to smoldering rubble. This indiscriminate, overwhelming power of fire is deeply ingrained in our collective memory and our primal fear. Mythologies across the globe frequently personify this destructive aspect as a cosmic force of judgment, a devastating conflagration intended to sweep away the old, the corrupt, and the stagnant, leaving nothing but scorched earth in its wake. Consider the terrifying ultimate majesty of Ragnarok, where the colossal fire giant Surtur rises from Muspelheim, sweeping across the 9 realms with his gigantic blazing sword, engulfing all existence in an inferno. Or reflect on the potent biblical image of hellfire and divine wrath, a purifying inferno meant to utterly cleanse the world of sin and corruption, erasing the old order entirely. These are not merely stories of a final ending, they are profound tales of a cosmic reset where fire acts as the ultimate uncompromising cleanser, meticulously burning away a flawed, unsustainable world to facilitate the birth of a new purified beginning. But even with this terrifying annihilation, this is the persistent and powerful promise of renewal, a cycle of death and rebirth. The iconic phoenix, the mythical immortal bird, is the quintessential symbol of this paradox. It bursts into majestic, self-immolating flames, consumed by its own radiant inferno, only to spectacularly rise anew from its own ashes, reborn stronger, more vibrant, and purer than before. This isn't just miraculous survival, it's a testament to fire's power to facilitate profound spiritual transformation, where a spectacular, dramatic death becomes an essential cleansing gateway to a higher, more evolved form of existence. The old must be fully consumed for the new to emerge. This profound concept of fire as a purifying agent is deeply embedded not only in grand mythologies, but also in countless ritualistic practices across human history. From the sacred cremation fires of many Eastern traditions, which are believed to meticulously release the soul from the confines of the physical body, preparing it for its onward spiritual journey, to the ancient sacrificial fires of various cultures, where offerings were ritually burned to cleanse the community, atone for sins, send prayers to the heavens, or even drive away evil spirits. In these rituals, the flames actively consume the material, the impure or the old, thereby releasing and refining the spiritual essence. In a grander, more ecological sense that often mirrors myth, destructive fire represents the necessary, often violent purging within nature's cycles. While seemingly devastating in the short term, intense forest fires clear out dense old growth, eliminate disease, return vital nutrients to the soil, and crucially allow sunlight to reach the forest floor, creating fertile ground for new plant life to flourish. Similarly, mythological fire in its destructive aspect serves a parallel purpose, a terrifying but ultimately necessary force that consumes outdated structures, obsolete beliefs, or flawed worlds, creating space for a fresh beginning and a new, more evolved form of existence to emerge from the ashes. It ensures life remains dynamic and ever-renewing. Fire is an astonishing, transformative power, but it's rarely, if ever, simply given freely or easily by benevolent deities. Its acquisition is almost universally a tale of daring, ingenious rebellion, and profound sacrifice. These legendary figures who risked everything to bring humanity to the flame embody our own audacious spirit, our unrelenting drive to overcome limitations. The act of acquiring fire is consistently portrayed as a heroic endeavor, one that fundamentally challenges the established order of the cosmos, whether it's stolen outright, cunningly tricked from powerful beings, or bravely won through arduous trials. The flame is a gift that demands immense courage and often carries a heavy personal price. These firebringers are foundational archetypal figures, embodying humanity's innate, relentless drive for knowledge, autonomy, and power, often directly defying the will of the gods or elemental forces. We've already told the tale of Prometheus stealing fire from Zeus and suffering the consequences, but that isn't the only mythological tale about gods stealing or using trickery to bring fire to humans. Polynesian mythology presents a more mischievous approach to fire acquisition through the legendary demigod Maui. Known for his cunning and trickery, Maui ventured into the treacherous underworld, not to beg, but to outwit the fire goddess Mahuika. He used his cleverness to trick her into revealing the secret of fire, and then, as she desperately tried to reclaim it, she sent a deluge of fire. He employed his shape-shifting abilities and natural wit to escape with the precious gift for humankind, and Maui's story highlights that sacred transformative knowledge isn't always acquired through solemn reverence. Sometimes it demands audacity, cunning, and a willingness to disrupt the natural order through ingenious methods for the benefit of mortals. These firebringers often embody the archetype of the trickster. These are figures who operate on the fringes of cosmic law, challenging convention and accepted norms. They are shapeshifters, boundary crossers, and disruptors of order, frequently introducing a beneficial kind of chaos. They break rules, subvert authority, and challenge ancient cosmic decrees, but ultimately, their seemingly transgressive acts serve to empower humanity, propelling progress and self-sufficiency. The fire they bring is not just for physical warmth, it's a symbolic flame of independence, a catalyst for intellectual awakening, and a profound assertion of human agency in the face of overwhelming divine power. The enduring myths of the firebringer, whether personified as a selfless hero enduring endless torment, or a cunning demigod outsmarting elemental forces, convey a singularly powerful message about human enterprise. They celebrate humanity's innate spirit of innovation, the unyielding courage to seek forbidden knowledge, and the profound, deeply held belief that we are capable of shaping our own fate, even if it means incurring the wrath of the heavens or defying cosmic design. The fire they deliver, with all its inherent dangers and transformative power, is a powerful symbol of our intrinsic capacity for both boundless creation and defiant rebellion. But moving beyond the grand narratives of world shaping and events and heroic defiance, the primordial flame holds an even deeper, more personal, and profoundly esoteric meaning. It represents the invisible fire within each of us, the very essence of our spiritual potential, guiding the arduous yet transformative journey of our inner metamorphosis and the awakening of the divine spark that resides at our core. In the arcane and highly symbolic art of alchemy, fire is more than just a chemical element. It is the fundamental, indispensable force driving profound spiritual purification and transformation. The alchemical quest to transmute base, impure metals into gleaming perfect gold is a direct and intricate metaphor for purifying the human soul. It signifies the process of burning away the dross of ego, ignorance, fear, and worldly attachments to reveal the inherent radiant golden divinity that lies within. The alchemist's furnace, with its controlled intense heat, becomes a potent symbol for the rigorous, often uncomfortable, yet ultimately rewarding process of disciplined inner work and self-refinement. This potent concept of an inner fire is also a core tenet in numerous Eastern spiritual traditions, particularly within the realms of yoga and tantra. It is most vividly embodied in Kundalini, often depicted as a coiled, dormant spiritual energy, a serpent of fire lying at the base of the spine. When awakened through specific meditative practices, breath work, and physical postures, this serpent fire doesn't just rise, it intensely burns upward through the body's subtle energy centers, or chakras, meticulously burning away deeply ingrained karmic residue, energetic blockages, and psychological impurities. This process leads to extraordinary states of profound enlightenment, heightened consciousness, and spiritual liberation, signifying a complete inner transformation powered by this internal spiritual blaze. And beyond its energetic manifestations, fire serves as a potent metaphor for consciousness itself, the very spark of sentience. It is the divine spark or inner light that exists within each individual being, a precious, unique fragment of a vast, universal flame. It represents the animating principle of life, the illuminating light of intelligence, and the very essence of the immortal soul. To consciously tend to this inner fire is to actively cultivate one's own awareness, to diligently fuel the flames of intuition, passion, creative purpose, and spiritual clarity through dedicated practices such as deep meditation, focused contemplation, and sincere self-inquiry. It's about illuminating our own path from within. In various mystical and magical traditions throughout history, intentional fire rituals are not just external acts, they are powerful, tangible aids for catalyzing internal alchemy and transformation. The deceptively simple act of lighting a candle during meditation, prayer, or ceremony is not just about physical illumination, it is a conscious invocation of the spirit of fire. It's a symbolic act to burn away negative thoughts, purify the energetic space around us, and intensely focus our will and intention on a desired outcome, whether it's healing, insight, or manifestation. The dancing flame becomes a living, vibrant anchor for our deepest intentions, a visual representation of our ongoing inner work and relentless personal growth. This profound esoteric understanding of fire underscores its central role as an ultimate catalyst for radical personal change. It powerfully speaks to the universal spiritual truth that within each of us lies an immense, often dormant power, a primordial flame capable of consuming our self-imposed limitations, dissolving our illusions, and brilliantly illuminating our true, divine, and most authentic nature. The journey of self-discovery in this light becomes a deeply personal alchemical process guided and propelled by this intense, transformative inner heat. The primordial flame is not merely a physical element or a character in ancient myths. It is a profound living symbol embodied in our collective consciousness. From Prometheus's audacious gift, which ignited the very dawn of human civilization, to the purifying fires of Ragnarok, which meticulously cleared the path for new worlds, and the esoteric inner flame of spiritual awakening that transforms the soul, fire stands as a universal timeless symbol of both boundless creation and utterly transformative destruction. It is the ultimate paradox, the force that gives life, the force that consumes it, and it's a constant flickering reminder that both birth and death are not endings, but essential parts of an endless sacred cycle of transformation, forever guided by an awe-inspiring, relentless dance of the primordial flame. Like it if you like it, don't if you don't. And if you can, subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps. Have a good day.